Hey, what you do to my eye? Gonna take it to the best. That big than my shoes. Alright, hey guys, I'm right back with another video. Today I'll be doing Fortnite. And alright, first let's get oh. She's kinda flat. It's like Epic just once gives you reasons to like there. I have to. Hey, okay, I'm done. Anybody know when X's thing is coming out? X should have a new album coming out pretty soon. Badass, what are you looking at? No, let's go pause it. Hey, badass, what are you looking at? I'm gonna throw that thing like that.
Yes, hello. I was wondering if you could play that song again.
Which one, man?
The one that goes...
Hop on a beat and you know what I'm Billy Bounce. Let's look. My goal is to get copyrighted. I hate when music videos do this. For me, they are walking around with me. You see, I'm out on 5 degrees. Heard he called a body, but that does not mean shit to me. Got two on me. Plug it, you're so warning. Detrimental. Me and Glock on your instrumental. I'm gonna get to him when I'm cracking, dude. Mom, what are you sending me? Idiot.
Trying to find his face, ain't no tracing coming back. G9, Mr. 2 Glocks, just bought a Mac. A Mac for your face, low, rearrange your couch. 1 foot in the industry and 1 foot in the trap. Buy that dope to my bloodline, I treat him like my strap.
Please, you're embarrassing me.
Put a lid on it, honey.
Honey, we do not cut the pie till after all vegetables are consumed.
What is the matter with you? You have a stick up your butt.
You're not helping. Stop it.
Can't you just relax and have a nice time like the rest of us?
Simmer down over there. Get a piece of this pop, we get your ass beat in it, baby. You feel me?
Yeah, what he said, Dad.
What's up, man?
Yes, eat your greens. Mom, are you kidding me? Embarrassing? No, this is why we're getting divorced. I'm calling the police. I've had enough. I've had enough. No. That's my pie.
I'm the captain of this shit right now. This ain't. You got me wasting my pie.
Oh, no.
Not the pie.
By me here, just a little feed off the mouth. Feed till I'm sleep, pushing P, get clout. That's the 2 Glocks, I roger that part. Colder than the beach, cause the bitch froze like that. Like a punch, people gotta come in the back. Say I'm with 50K, we better train on that, nigga. What all do you want from me? AR than them 223. Fucking around with me, you see I'm hot on 500 degrees. Heard he caught a body, but that does not mean shit to me. Got 2 on me, got 2 on me. Got plug in, yeah, 2 on me. Black like cause I bleed, yo. What are you on what he breathe, yo. Yeah, I'm pushing things, yo. What it is and what it ain't. Like a skunk with you stink.
Hello, how are you doing today, Billy? You know what we film, right? That works. So basically, there's a white suburban family like me. Basically, my brother and sisters and my mom.
What up, guys? How you guys feeling back there?
Going to school. Huh?
Introducing the Gillette Skin Guard, the shave sensitive skin's been waiting for.
I'm Coyote Peterson, and I'm about to be bitten by the giant desert centipede. Here we go. Oh my God! It's a fair statement to say that I am no more intentional bites, chomps, pinches, and stings than any other human being. Some people say that I am absolutely crazy, while others have labeled me as being admirably fearless. However, I describe myself as a passionate educator who has endured these wild experiments so that we can all learn about animals and ultimately take away from my discomfort the newfound respect for these oftentimes misunderstood creatures. So while I might be a little crazy, I certainly am not completely fearless, and have made it very clear that there are only two creatures on this planet that make my skin crawl. The first is infamously known as the toe biter. Scientifically, this alien-looking creature is addressed as the giant water bug, and its bite, which is inflicted with a needle-like rostrum, is unbelievably painful. Since we first featured one of these insects several years ago, the Coyote Pack has been requesting both a bite and aftermath episode. Peterson. What scares me is the alien-looking creature that may be hiding in the tables of pond plants that is infamously known as the toe biter.
You guys know what that is, right? That's my old arch nemesis, the toe biter.
Reach rest into when mucking around in the swamps. Yet leave it up to the Coyote Pack to request over and over again that I show the world just how painful that bite really is, and in turn, how to treat that bite if you are ever so unfortunate to take one. These water-dwelling insects can be found worldwide, and with just my luck, they happen to be very common in Costa Rica. So the crew and I headed out into the darkness of night when they are actively hunting to see if we could find one. A big one. And sure enough, would certainly give me a bite to remember.
I'm looking for a giant water bug, also known as a toe biter, and I'm pretty sure I saw one right on the other side of that log. Right on the other side of those plants. What I'm going to try to do is actually go out on this log. You see this tall log? That should get me right into perfect position. I don't want to disturb the environment. I'm going to use this net to try to scoop it up.
Wow, it's big. Hold on, I'm coming right towards you. Hold on. I'm losing my balance. There it is. Ooh, get on the net. Get in there, get in there, get in there. That is a monster water bug. Look at the size of that thing. My goodness. Hold on, let me get it on the net. You guys got lights? Lights? Yeah. Look at that creature. An alien from another planet. My hand hand is shaking. This giant water bug, also known as the toe biter. I'm not doing this deep in the dark, guys. We'll wait until tomorrow morning. And yes, I'm going to let my big toe be bitten by the toe biter. Oh, look at that. My goodness, it's a beast. They can fly, they can swim, and their bite is one of the most painful in the insect.
But what are the odds?
Sting, guys, it is a bite. All right, I'm putting in the container. You ready? Just keep the lid on it. Trust me, you don't want this one getting into your boots.
Warning. The bite from a giant water bug is non-lethal. However, it is excruciatingly painful. Never attempt to recreate the following scene.
There it is. The little shop of horrors itself. The giant water bug. Also known as a toe bite. Now let me tell you guys a little story about when Coyote Peterson was 8 years old. I was out in the swamps searching for snapping turtles, wearing nothing other than shorts and a t-shirt. Wading through, hoping to come across a giant reptile, when all of a sudden I felt a piercing pain in my thigh. I immediately screamed, reached my hand up my shorts, and what do I pull out? A giant water bug. I had never seen one of these creatures before. I immediately started crying, not only from the pain, but because I was absolutely terrified at the sight of this thing. I hobbled myself back to shore, got myself home, told my mom what happened, and we looked it up in a video. She called the doctor, and lo and behold, they assured me it would be okay. It is not going to kill you. All I needed to do was put ice on the bite and relax for about an hour and a half, and finally, the pain ended up going away. And ever since that day, this is the one insect that I have truly been afraid of. Now, before we get to the bite, let's take a look at this insect's anatomy. Now, this is a true bug. It may look like a beetle or cockroach, but it is in fact its own variety. There are around 60 species of water bugs worldwide. In the United States, there are 20. Now, this one here, the giant water bug, is very common here in Central and South America, and this is about maximum size. The largest they get is around 4 inches in length, and I would say that one is about 3.5 inches. An absolute monster. Now, it's interesting, you can see it kind of skittering around inside the container here as soon as I move it, but you see that position that it's putting itself in, where it's sticking its rear up through the water? Look at that little snorkel-looking device there. That is actually how it's breathing. They breathe from their back ends. It breathes out its butt. Yeah, it's like a little butt snorkel, right? So it's keeping itself positioned like that, and this is also the same position in which they hunt. I'll tell you what's most intimidating about this creature are those front arms. Let me turn it just a little bit like that. Now, like all insects, they have 6 legs, and these front 2 are modified with those hooks on the front. They use those to latch onto and grab the fins.
Oh, let's see the snorkel go in and out?
Yep, the snorkel goes in that, kind of thrusts its abdomen up into the air there. That's allowing it to breathe so it can just float like a dead leaf, just like that, all day long, waiting for, let's say, any tadpoles need to come to the surface to breathe, frogs need to come to the surface. A fish could just swim by, and if it swims right up towards that face, what they will do is reach out with those forms, and they have 2 hooks right on end. They'll grapple on and pull it towards their face. Right on the face there is what's called a rostrum, which is like a little hooked beak. Now, it is inside of a sheath, so as soon as they catch something, it comes out of that sheath, and it injects an incredibly potent saliva. Now, the enzymes in that saliva will actually paralyze the victim, and they kind of, they're stuck in place. So imagine that you're a tadpole, and then as that saliva works its way into the system, it actually breaks apart the victim's insides. And then you drink it up just like a milkshake. How horrific is that?
Is that what it's going to do to your toe?
Well, it's not going to do that to my toe because I'm not going to let it hold on that long. But what it is going to do is latch on and then whack me that rostrum. And just a little bit of that saliva getting into my system is going to be unbelievably painful. This will probably be worse than any of the insect stings I've taken. Remember, guys, this is not a sting. This is a bite. Very different.
So is it venom?
It's not technically venom, but it works like venom in that the enzymes and peptides in the saliva are modified and break down the insides of the victim. And maybe ask yourself, well, something like this, does it have any predators?
Well, certainly, a bird could eat it, a large snapping turtle could eat it, but they are incredibly camouflaged. Let me turn it like this. Take a look at its back there. It looks just like a leaf. Here, I will just pick this leaf up off the ground, hold that next to the container. Now, if you were mucking around in a little pond like we have here behind us where we caught it, and you just saw it sitting there, just like that, completely still floating, you'd have no idea that that was an insect and not a leaf. Pretty incredible, huh? Another name for this insect is the electric light bug. That's because in places especially like Florida where you have those large halogen lamps, they will be drawn in by the hundreds. And oftentimes people just think that they're flying roaches. If you go near one and you pick it up, you stand the chance of being bitten. So if you see a bunch of bugs fluttering around a light and they're about the size of a leaf, just admire them from a safe distance, guys, because it's a bite you're never going to forget.
So to be clear, not just in the water, these things fly.
Yes. Not just terrorists beneath the surface, but also terrorists in the air.
Did we find one at the parking lot once in Florida?
We did, yeah. It was actually inside of my booth, believe it or not. Yeah, I think I actually took a photo of it and posted it on Instagram. Yeah, now what's interesting is that this is a male. You know how I know that? The males carry eggs on their backs. And I can see that this one has a few eggs still hanging on to it. Now, this is one of those rare species that you have the male taking care of the young, making sure that they are protected until they can form into larvae and then swim off on their own.
They're quite strong, right? They're like little Popeye arms.
They are super strong. Actually, you want me to take it out of the little container here so you guys get some better shots. I'm going to gently reach right down in there and pick it up. Ready?
They do say there's a fine line between bravery and stupidity. Where does this fall?
It falls into the complete realm of insanity. I still remember the day that I was bitten by one. I mean, it's incredibly painful. I mean, you guys are going to see me in unbelievable agony here. I've climbed the insect sting pain index, and when it comes to facing my fears of the two creepiest crawlies in the bug world, bugs as a generalization, the giant water bug and the giant desert centipede are the two things that just absolutely make my skin grow.
Educational and enlightening for all of us watching, but for yourself. This is a way to move past any of those fears left over from your
Yeah, this is, for me, a true moment of insane bravery. Insane bravery. Yeah. Oh, my poor toe.
Then one more look.
Oh, man. This is craziness. Absolute craziness. Okay. Oh, man, I don't know if I can go through this.
You could just like accidentally drop it and scurry back onto the ball.
Yeah, maybe I throw it up in the air and it flies away. Go. Got it. Oh, it is so strong.
Good grip?
Good grip. Good grip.
Okay. Time to face your fears.
Are we ready?
You're ready.
you can fit. Why the toe biter? On my big toe. Here we go. 1, 2.
Yay! Hello. You wanna go lazy? Oh, yay! Is that 2 people, or is that the same person? No, that's the same person. Okay, lazy like. Wait, no, it's 2 people. That echo.
I know, who is that?
That's you. That's Big Daddy. Big Daddy.
Oh, mute him. Oh,
it just sounds like if it was just a singular echo, that wouldn't be bad. But it's like a million echoes, so it just makes it funny.
Still doing it.
This is the most scuffed game of Fortnite ever. There's somebody on my house. Or is that? No, somebody's on my house.
I'll let this dude fight him. One shot? Come here. I'm literally I just dropped 2 kids.
Okay,
like
there it goes. No more. Scuffed. Oh, somebody over next to me.
Trash
in this house
can.
next to me.
Harry,
you need help?
No. I'm getting rid of him.
I got an RPG.
There's somebody.
Where?
What's up, my guy?
Oh, right here. I got him.
God damn it.
Hey, this is a family. Oh my gosh, this man is.
Big Daddy didn't even land with us. My guy.
Colin, you got him. Yes, come with me, please, Big Daddy.
Bruh, he's not
Big Daddy landed with us.
Look at this guy.
He's right next to me. You didn't land with me. Oh my gosh, he shot me off his back.
He literally used you as a shield.
He used me as a meat shield.
Bro.
Jump. Oh, so close. GG's, guys. GG's. At least actually somebody with a mic. Last game our team got 12 kills and nobody had a mic.
Yeah.
I got 3 wins back to back today.
Nice. I only got 1 today. I didn't really play a lot. Ah! Nobody, why?
Oh, sorry guys, I knocked the whole thing of water over. It almost got away. Okay, look at my toe. The roster went deep enough in.
Huh?
To draw blood.
Nobody. I was playing with somebody.
Trying to get the saliva out, and there wasn't a lot of saliva that went in, but man, did it just scream in pain immediately. Oh, my foot is throbbing. This is like dropping a brick on your toe. I can't move my toe. I can feel that rostrum go whoosh into my toe, deep enough to draw blood. Wow. A lot thicker, and
I see you found the snacks.
Delicious. I need this recipe.
Everyone thinks I made them, but it's actually decon. What was that?
I'm Kylie Peterson, and I'm about to enter the pinch zone with the American Lobster. Here we go.
Sad, I know like X, yeah. That's what I'm pretty like, but like, gotta bring it, get like, hunt around, butt tap, Ebony, butt tap, butt tap, hunt around, butt tap,
Well, here we are. It's beautiful Portland, Maine, and it is a big day for everybody out there watching, and it's a big day for me because it's been almost a year since I promised that I would be pinched by a giant lobster. So today we're going out on a lobster boat to look for
gliding in on something.
Now, I hear they have a crusher claw and a ripper claw.
Kill.
A what claw? A crusher and a ripper. So
I want to do.
Well, both of them, because we need to find out which one does more damage. So if you guys are ready, let's go meet our captain and head out on the water. My money's on the ripper. On this voyage out to sea, I will be working alongside Dave, a true lobsterman and seasoned captain of the Lucky Catch. He will be taking us out to check a handful of traps, also known as lobster pots, in which we hope to find a market-sized lobster that will ultimately be used to pinch my hand. Yes, you heard me right. Coyote Peterson is going to enter the pinch zone with an American lobster.
Of course he landed.
Dungeness crab, this is poised to be my first major pinch. That's pretty bad. Many people have warned me that a lobster's pinch is powerful enough to break my hand. I know this sounds crazy, but I have my doubts. The goal is to put this pinch to the test, so that we can all find out just how painful it really is. But before I can get pinched, first, we have to get the lobster. Here comes our first trap. And we got a lobster. We got a little one. All right. Now, this lobster we're gonna measure to see if it makes the legal size. Yeah. In order for
If there's a freaking squad in there, you're gonna freaking try and get you, little buddy.
We measure from the back of the eye to where the back meets the tail. This one, that's a little small. Gotta go back. So this little guy is gonna let you swim another day.
I'm on my way.
This is something that's pretty cool that Dave just showed me. See the ripper claw there? Kind of zoom in and you see
On
the little
fucking
hairs on the
motherfuckers.
edges.
Fuck you
It is
pieces
serrated,
of
but there's
shit.
also soft hairs.
What
Watch
the
this.
fuck? Yeah, let's run into a fucking squad one at a time. Fucking good job.
I have a feeling that
Fucking
later on when I put my
motherfuckers,
finger
man.
into the ripper claw, it's gonna lock shut. Alright, this one's going back out into the ocean. You ready, little conversation? Here we go, ready? See ya. Believe it or not, as a lobsterman, you are first and foremost a conservationist. Only lobsters of market size can be harvested from the ocean, and females who are carrying eggs, no matter what their size, are always returned to the wild.
Idiot.
It's interesting, they don't seem to have as much of a reach as some of the crayfish. Yeah, as far as the reach and where they're able to get you with their claws, I feel more comfortable actually handling most crayfish species. Yeah, that one's way small. Just gonna head back out. Ready? We motored from buoy to buoy and pulled trap after trap. Yet so far, we had returned each and every lobster back into the ocean. Then when it seemed as if all was lost, we pulled up the Lucky Catch. Could this be the one? Oh, that's a pretty good size one. Right. Oh, wow, that one looks huge. Oh, nice. Look at the size of that. Slide this down, right? Yep. Oh, man. That could be the one.
spent years doing big Fortnite cafe for the hard work done you for his to touch. There's a clever touch screen. Just simply swipe and select.
One right there. You see that? Wow, look at the pictures on that thing. Dude, that one is definitely big. I'm gonna take that. Hold on. It's cool to take this out, right? Yeah, I see it. Now this one is definitely the biggest we've caught so far today. Look at that. That's probably what? At least 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds, right? Look. Oh my gosh, dude, I think this is the one. You think we're gonna get one bigger than this today? No, that's a big one. What? Look at that lobster. Oh, man. Dude, that is a big crusher claw. And it is strong. Look at that ripper claw. I think that we have found our winning lobster. All right, let's get him into the water. Woo! All right, guys, and we are back in a controlled setting. We're about to get up close with the American lobster. Now, I have one in this tank right here. Let me go ahead and take it out. Whoa, come here, buddy. Oh, yeah, there we go. Hello to you, too. That's a defensive mechanism right there. Whacking with the tail. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, wow, that looks a lot smaller than the lobster you pulled out of the pot earlier today. And as a matter of fact, we're going to show you a little bit about the anatomy of this crustacean before we actually get into the pinch. Now, let's start at the tip of the nose and go all the way down to the tail. The American lobster is the heaviest and longest living crustacean in the entire world. They can weigh as much as 40 pounds, and people estimate can live as long as 100 years. Now, you may be thinking to yourselves, Coyote, I thought lobsters were red. This creature is got black spots. It's got a little bit of blue near its joint, but for the most part, it looks like the bottom of the ocean. That's because lobsters are only red after they are cooked. And good news for Lucy here is that both her and Lonnie, the big one that we have just back here, are both going to be released into the ocean as soon as we are done filming. Now, just like a crab or a crayfish, lobsters do have gills. However, they can be out of water for a significant amount of time. You may be saying, well, Coyote, dip it back in the water. And I will. It's good for it to be dipped in there. But a lobster can stay out of the water for around 2 hours before it ultimately sucks. These creatures are extremely durable. Now, on my left, over here, you have what's called the crusher claw. And on my right, what's called the pincher or the ripper claw. Now, the way that these lobsters use their claws is they'll take the crusher and find something like a mollusk or a clam and use that claw, which has incredible power, to crush the shell of its prey. Then they use the pincher or the ripper claw to pull out the meat, and they slowly eat it. And you can see, I'm going to turn this lobster like this. See all these other little pinchers up front here? These front legs are also used to help shovel the food into the mouth, which is right down in there. Now, one of my favorite parts about the lobster are these antennae. You see that? Now, lobsters have poor eyesight because they live on the basin of the ocean. These antennae are sensory organs, and they shape out like this, like a Y. Can you see that? And they use these to detect movement and chemicals in the environment. This helps them find prey, it helps them communicate with other lobsters, and it helps them to navigate beneath the ocean. Ooh, you know what this lobster is doing right now? It's actually peeing out of its face. What? Yeah, that's probably one thing that most people did not realize about lobsters is that their urinary glands are actually on the side of the face, and they can shoot streams of urine up to 6 feet underwater, and that helps them communicate with other lobsters. I see that. You were just trying to pee on me. I'm peed on and pooped on by almost everything that I work with. Now, you see there are some bubbles coming out of the front of the lobster, right? So what the lobster is actually doing is aerating its gills by blowing bubbles. Now, let's talk about the movement of a lobster. This body design is very similar to an insect, and technically, lobsters are octopods, so they're related to bugs. Their body structure is very similar to many insect species, including this hard outer exoskeleton. Now, when a lobster is underwater, they move forward slowly, using their pinchers and their legs to propel themselves forward. They look for food, they catch it, they crush it, they tear it apart, and they eat it.
But if something comes into the environment that is a potential predator, what they will do is quickly shoot themselves backwards using, see these little flipper things down here? These are called swimmerettes. And then the tail is technically called the telson. That's this big flipper on the back here.
Looks like a whale tail.
It does, right? And they're able, this is all muscle right here, right? And what they'll do is whoosh, shoot themselves usually into a crevice or into a hole, and then they escape the potential predator.
Awesome. So, I have two questions. How do these things grow? I mean, you said up to 40 pounds. How does that work?
Yes. Lobsters, at this size, this lobster is probably around 7 years old, and they are very, very, very slow growers. So for a lobster to reach 40 pounds, let's say, so that's considered a mammoth, right? For a lobster to reach 40 pounds, it would probably be somewhere between 70 and 100 years of age. How crazy is that?
Whoa, they can live 100 years?
100 years, or so they think. Nobody really knows for sure exactly how long, but just like turtles and tortoises, that's what scientists think. Well, I think at this juncture, we're going to put Yeet back into this tank of water. If you guys are ready, I think it's time to get Lonnie out. And the Ripper Claw really are. You guys ready? What we're gonna do? Come here, Lonnie. Oh, he's a beaster. All right, we're gonna place Lonnie inside. Well, he barely fits in there. Woo!
Okay, guys. We're at the final chance to call this off and escape.
Yeah. Nope, I'm gonna go through with it, guys. I think if they're